It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
You want to do a promotional question?
Okay.
Okay. This is from Mike Risch on YouTube. He says, hey, on last week's podcast, both Brian and Bo mentioned they had a Fidelity Visa. That's true. I was just curious where they allocate their 2% cash back. 529, brokerage, IRA, etc. I'm looking at getting this card. Here's how I want you to answer this question. Yeah, it's true. We both use a Fidelity Visa card. How should we think about the credit cards that we choose and the credit cards that we use? And then you can share how you use the cash, and I'll share how I use the cash.
Well, I think there's multiple things in that question. First is I use my Fidelity Visa. It goes straight into my brokerage account.
I do the same.
The reason I do it is if I put it in my 529, first of all, every state might have a state tax benefit. You need to pay attention to your state's 529, look at the rankings, look at how they're structured and the benefits. And for me, it made sense to, because I was living in Georgia when my children were born, and there was definitely a great state tax deduction. So I didn't want it to go into the Fidelity 529. I wanted to go have more control over that. Also, it was another thing is a lot of people, because I do like cashback cards, because they give you maximum flexibility on how you use it. Whereas I know there's a lot of credit card gamers that use a lot of these travel cards. I don't use those. I think COVID has shown that cash is king on flexibility and usage, because I can still go buy airline tickets with my cash. I can still use them to book hotels. So I think cash definitely dominates in that aspect. Some honorable mentions: the Amazon Prime card. If you have a lot of smile boxes coming.
Are you getting the 4% right now? Did you do that? I know this is not timely. I'm going to go on a little side here. I got the email where they said, hey, if you sign up from now to February, 4% on all restaurants and 4% on all travel.
Well,
and all gas stations.
How is it not shocking that Amazon's trying to dominate another category? It really is another category for Jeff Bezos to have world domination.
Because I was using my 3% card for the restaurant. Now I'm using 4%. It's like I'm making free money from now till February.
So that's a good card to get. By the way, these are just benchmarks of things we've noticed. I'm not giving, because we don't participate in all that cash, affiliation fees and all that stuff. So, and then the other one, I have a Costco card, because I do like my Costco savings.
That's my 3%
on gas and all that stuff. But that's how I use my credit cards.
I think that's great. I had a client the other day who said, hey, I've got 15 different credit cards. I don't use half of them. Should I close them down? I said, yeah, go close down every credit card except for the oldest one, because that's the one you want to leave out there. And, I think I have like a 4, I've got the Target card, because we do Target a lot. Got the Amazon card, I got the Costco card, I got the Fidelity card. I got 4. It's pretty easy to manage, pretty easy to set up, and I let all my cash back just flow into my brokerage account.
Yeah, I would say measure twice on that closing of credit cards, though, because you do need to be careful. They could have a short-term detrimental impact to your credit score. And I always say be careful of having too many lines of credit, just because you don't want to have something slip through the cracks. Because you're going to find, guys, when you get older, as you become more successful, complexity naturally happens to you, just because as you build success, your life gets complicated. Don't create complexity when it's unnecessary. Now, when I can tell you, just seeing behind the curtain, my wife, I guess Nordstrom just had their annual sale.
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
My wife's been talking about it.
My wife doesn't have a store credit card, so she doesn't get to go to the early access points, and she tells me how it's costing us a fortune.
My wife has that card.
I'm still saying you have that card.
I've got the Nordstrom card.
That probably means it's going to push my needle over the other
5.
way. So it's just funny how you be careful of store credit cards. I'll probably end up losing that battle at some point, but it is something. Be mindful. Keep your financial life as simple, because complexity is going to happen naturally.
Now, here's what my wife told me, because now that we have the Nordstrom card, we're practically making money, right? She shares with me all these deals with the sale. It's basically like we're making money.
I'm probably going to get in trouble. Fortunately, my wife doesn't watch the show, so hopefully she doesn't figure out that your wife has that card.